Well, I think a major organization of the national security apparatus, at least here at the White House within the National Security Council, has indeed taken place, and the president entrusts his current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, and our ODNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, to make the necessary changes to ensure classified intelligence, especially that could implement or hurt the national security of our country, does not make its way into the hands of irresponsible actors who want to politicize that intelligence for their own end. Since you brought up the declassification report that was put out by Senator Grassley today, I'm glad you brought it up, because this should be a story every outlet in this room should be covering. This is further evidence that Hillary Clinton approved the Russia hoax against President Trump. Her campaign financed it. Again, she approved it. And the FBI and the CIA were both weaponized to, as our director of CIA has said, accelerate this hoax against then candidate and former President Trump. To answer the heart of your question, the president wants to see justice served, and he trusts the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to implement that justice and hold these people accountable.
Nice. Yes.
So they are going to a grand jury to see what can be done about this. Hopefully this leads to indictments. And that is really what we're all looking for. We want to see people be indicted. So if that happens in the coming weeks and all of that, then we'll know that things are really starting to move. This is the very beginning stages, because I know a lot of people are out there are like, nothing's happening. No one's arrested. No indictments. Not like, yeah, we have to take the proper, what is it called? The process, right?
Proper protocol. As they always say.
I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to be like the mop.
Proper protocol. Yeah.
But in this case, that's actually what's happening. Like, we're not a dictatorship, even though that's what they're trying to say that Trump is. And this is just the way that things are done. So I am not going to be surprised if we do see indictments in the coming weeks here.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel. Maybe you could leave it in the comments of where you're feeling about, nope, I don't think there's going to be anything that's happening. Or do you feel like things are happening? Because I just got this feeling like they're not tolerating the corruption anymore.
Right.
We're moving into a different era where they can't just let this stuff slide, nor does anybody want to let this stuff slide. The whole apparatus of the deep state was there to protect the corrupt actors so that they could keep doing that. Without that apparatus there's nothing to protect these people. And that's obviously what he ran on, draining the swamp, going after the deep state. Right. And if we can do that, which it seems like we are doing, then we can enter a new era where we can actually run things honestly and in good faith. You know, like we say, it's like, they're actually doing what they say they're going to do, rather than, every time there would be some story, oh, well, we couldn't get him for this reason. We couldn't get him for that reason. But really, we all know what it was. It's corruption the whole time. We knew that behind the scenes, there was something protecting all these people, which is why we can't go after the Epstein client list until we take down the deep state.
Right.
And you see what Pam Bondi and people are doing now in the DOJ. They're getting rid of the woke judges. They're getting rid what they just put in Pirro from Judge Pirro into Washington's federal prosecutor position in D.C. Because if you have corrupt people in D.C. and in these courts, there's no chance of them going down. There's no chance of us. Why even bring up prosecution against these people if they're just going to enter into a corrupt court system?
Exactly.
There's no point. So I think this is the time where we are starting to dismantle it little by little.
Yeah, and they're making some pretty bold claims. Like Caroline Leavitt is literally up there saying Hillary paid for this. She approved it. It was her idea, her whole team. And Trump wants justice for this, and he wants people to be held accountable. I don't think she would go up there and tell the world that if they weren't actually going to do something about it, because Trump doesn't want to be made to look a fool. He doesn't want another Epstein situation with how things went down with Pam Bondi. Like, he knows that was a stain on him and the administration, and it got a lot of MAGA people talking bad about Trump and the administration, and he does not want something like that to happen again. I mean, we all know Trump's ego and all of that, right? So do you really think they're going to be making these really, really bold claims if they're not actually doing something about it?
That's a really good point. And we've already seen, I'm going to keep saying this, we've seen the Trump mugshot. So why can't we see an Obama or a Clinton mugshot?
Exactly.
Why can't we? We can totally see it. And I just wanted to say something too about like these hoaxes. This is exactly an example of why Trump called it a hoax, right? Because they used the Russia hoax to take attention away from Hillary, right? They use these hoaxes and these scandals or alleged scandals to try to take the heat off of themselves. Just like with the Hunter Biden laptop or all the Biden crime family stuff, if you go back and you look at all the indictments were announced the day after there'd be a bombshell against the Biden crime family.
It's almost like it was a pattern by design.
They had it ready to go. They were waiting. And remember, they were supposed to get Trump right when he left office. We're going to get him. We're going to bust him. And it took them 3.5 years to put indictments onto Trump. So like, obviously things can take some time. They obviously did it because they were just trying to hurt him in his campaign run for presidency. But
we have some real
actual
evidence here. There's real things to be charged for this time. So I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be more than just a mugshot for these people because there's actual crimes here. We all know that the Trump crimes were made up charges, and they even had to change laws, statute of limitations, all of that to even get him on anything. And here we actually have proof of crimes. Like there's literal emails, like apparently they didn't get rid of all the emails, so that's good.
And perjury right off the bat. I mean, if you look at all these like indictment hearing or all the hearings like during the Durham report, they were asking him like, did you know this? When did you know this? No, we didn't know that. No, we weren't given that. And it's like, actually now you can go back and look at that. And they were under oath to give actual credible information and they lied. Yep. So that perjury right there, that's not small potatoes. Election interference, violation of the Hatch Act. There's all kinds of things just right off the bat, even from what we know as just the general public have seen crimes and violations that they've committed without even having to get any further deeper evidence.
Right. So I think we have another clip that Fox reported on. Not that we love Fox or anything, but they were one of the first ones to report on this. So let's hear what they have to say.
Owned by Rupert Murdoch.
This is incredibly early in the process. What we have here is taking evidence the Justice Department believes it has to a grand jury to secure an eventual indictment or indictments. We don't know exactly where the grand jury will meet. We don't know who will go before the grand jury, and that's by design, because grand juries determine if there's enough evidence to indict, and grand juries are secretive in the American legal system, so it's normal not to know all of the answers. Again, the DOJ declining on any comment regarding this investigation. But, Will, big news, this was signed by the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, today to take this evidence of an alleged conspiracy to a grand jury with the hope to get an indictment or multiple indictments. Will?
That is big news.
Yeah. So that is where all of this is leading. Are you going to say something?
I'm saying, actually, this is pretty darn fast, people. Like, I know it's like from a time of announcement of declassified information to recommendation, which kind of happened simultaneously, recommendation to the DOJ for criminal referral, to now next step to grand jury recommendation. Yeah. So we're moving right along,
Yeah. So indictments in the coming weeks. Let's all hold the vision for that and pray for that outcome. Keep praying for the grand jury, whoever is on the grand jury, to be honest and truthful and have our best interests at heart, and for the truth to actually come out, for this evidence to be enough, and for indictments to actually take place. So hold that vision, hold that prayer. That's all we can do in our power right now. Keep talking about it. But yeah, we got to do whatever we can do in our power. But ultimately, this is, up to God, really. So let's just keep praying for that. Okay, everybody.
Yeah, no. And, keep pushing it big time, because the left and the news outlets are trying to bury this. They're trying to just move right along.
Keep talking about it.
Right. Keep talking about it. Scream. Put the Epstein thing on hold. We'll deal with Epstein when the time comes. Like, trust me, nobody's saying forget about that. Nobody's saying disregard it. When Trump called it a hoax, he said that it was a hoax. Not that the obviously, he went down. There was a real conspiracy. There was really things going on. Obviously, nobody's going to make the case that he was saying that those crimes were a hoax. We know the crimes weren't a hoax. That's not what he was saying. He's saying that this whole scandal, this manufactured outrage, is the hoax. This is the Russia thing all over again. Oh, focus here, focus here. Stop focusing on it.
Because then they started talking about how Trump wrote a letter to Epstein for his birthday, and it was like this poetic letter.
And he had these letters and these photos.
Right. So like obviously they had all of that laid out and planned and ready to be released. And so that was the hoax that he was talking about. Yeah, he should have been a little more clear and should have had a better verbiage and messaging with what he was actually talking about.
Oh, yeah. To be clear, he fumbled it. He totally fumbled. The whole team fumbled.
He was also caught off guard because I don't think any of them knew that this was going to come out. Like, this is exactly how the deep state works. They have contingency plans. And so this is like, oh, pull the Epstein thing out. Pull the Epstein thing out. Let's go.
They hit him hard. They hit him right away. They didn't expect it. It was like, a sucker punch just out of nowhere. Like, whoa, that was a little off guardness. I mean, let's not forget, this started from Axios. Guys, freaking-os, every single, fake Trump thing was, suckers and losers or whatever.
Yeah,
every single thing came from like Axios. Remember, or the Daily Beast. Yeah, right. It came from them. Remember, they're the first ones to break the story because they released this mysterious document in the middle of the night, a DOJ letter with no signatures, not headed to anybody. It's just like, oh, this random document from the DOJ, which probably was official because that's how they do it. The deep state uses, just like the Russia hoax, they use people inside to make moves while simultaneously the fake news reports on it. Simultaneously, they make moves with the people that they have inside our government to make any kind of investigation or some kind of statement, which they did, and in the middle of the night, so they weren't ready for all this. I mean, obviously, you think that Pam and Cash were just like, hey, you know how we're going to release this? Some mysterious letter in the middle of the night, and we'll give it to Axios to release it.
We're not going to hold a press conference. We're not going to do anything like that.
No, so they were probably like, what? This did come out? And I guess it did come from our people. They're like, I'm not sure where this came out, but they also didn't want to say that either. So they obviously fumbled it. I'm not saying that they handled it well, but you look at the similarities. Internal movement, simultaneous reporting from fake news.
Yeah.
Caught them off guard. That's the hoax, guys. That's the hoax. That's what they're talking about.
Right.
Got to translate.
And like also the Epstein stuff, like we know that things have been deleted. The information has changed hands so many times. And so like, let's get them on stuff that is concrete and solid and that we have for sure proof and evidence of that they can now be, convicted for those things. And then later on, once all of that is said and done, then let's really uncover the Epstein stuff because now we'll actually be able to without so much deep state ability to fight back at that point.
Right, exactly. They'll be weakened and practically.
Yeah, we have to weaken them before we get them on the biggest thing ever.
That's the coup de grace. I mean, because think about it, like show of hands, guys, who really thinks that they had all the Epstein evidence for the last 4 years in the Biden administration and did nothing with it? I mean, and didn't tamper with it?
Right.
You don't think they erased all the Bill Clinton stuff on there? Like, does anybody honestly think that they didn't touch the Bill Clinton stuff? The deep state Democrat apparatus had all that with Bill Clinton on it and they just left it? No, of course not. Of course not. I mean, even some of this stuff that we're finding out, we're all left in burn bags that nobody was supposed to find.
Right.
But,
And what, they just happen to not get burned?
Well, that is, I thought about that. I don't know if anybody else thought, but like, why wouldn't they just burn it? Because they were supposed to get rid of it, but they didn't get rid of it.
Don't know what happens there,
but could be a
they make
honeypot.
They make mistakes too, though, So.
I've thought about that as a theory too, that they left information there to try to lead people down a honeypot, and then when they try to actually bring it to a case, they can have refuting evidence because they're the ones that fed it to them.
Yeah, maybe.
That makes sense. Anyways,
a lot of possibilities.
We can go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole, but we're going to keep moving on.
Some of the documents that were in that burn bag, actually. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen these out on the internet. They've been out this week, but here it is again, just for you guys to read and screenshot and all of that in case you missed it. So this is Hillary's people. They're saying, hi, the media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. This is an important story because it would be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration of publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election. At the same time, politicization is on the table. I have been a bit surprised that nobody has mentioned this 18-month-long story yet in their analysis, and makes explicit reference to U.S. elections at the end. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. So, yeah, this is just basically telling you, like, this was a plan.
That they were going to work with federal offices to try to further a Democrat plan.
Right. And this next one is even more revealing. So HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections that should distract people from her own missing email.
You guys remember the Hillary email scandals?
Yes.
They had,
so that says it all.
Right. They requested the email. She was gotten. I remember I was like, yes, it was like right when the Cubs won the World Series or whatever. And then like you see at the headline, the ticker down the bottom, it says, more emails found by Hillary Clinton. You know, they find all these emails and they're under an investigation, and she had erased a lot of emails. If you guys remember what had happened there. Had a private server, wasn't supposed to use the private server, had erased the emails, and then said they didn't erase it. And then they did erase it. Yeah, destroyed it with blackberries with hammers. Like everybody remembers that, right? We're not going to let them forget about that. And they use this to distract away from that. Now, I think it needs to also be pointed out here, just in case you didn't know this part, Leonard Bernardo is it was a vice president of Open Society. So he's one of the head figures of Open Societies. And if you know anything about Open Societies, that's George Soros. That's his nonprofits. That's his organizations. It all funnels through Open Societies. And the idea of Open Societies, because he would talk about this back when he could talk, if he's still alive, about things. And the philosophy, I'm going to say, was it Karl Popper that he was basing it on? I'll have to go back and look at who he was basing on this philosophy of the idea of open societies and closed societies. Open societies are ones that basically don't have rules in terms of traditional values. It basically looks at your family like a burden, your society like a burden, and that you shouldn't be burdened with these things. You should be
burdened by what has been.
And that's Karl Popper. That is exactly what that comes back to, Communist Manifesto rhetoric, where they get it to look like your personal obligations to your faith, to your family, to your country are all things that are burdens to you, and that you should be unburdened by these things and let the state take care of these things.
Right.
The state should. That's what open societies are, and that's entirely George Soros. So anytime you see that, you know that goes right to George Soros. Literally, those are his organizations, and that was Bernard Lombardo, one of his head people that was doing that. So it was communicating with the head of the DNC, I think of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I believe it was, communicating. That's Democrat Party, George Soros, talking about in tandem, working with federal agencies. So now you have this whole picture, and you have the money now connected.
And you notice in that one, it said Julia's idea. It didn't say like the fact that, or like, what we caught was, it was like an idea, an idea. Somebody thought about this and made it up and said, let's do this. And Hillary was like, yeah, let's do it. Great.
All right. Well, if you guys are still with us, we love you, and we do this all for you. We love to build a community with you guys. So if you could like, comment, share, and tell us what you guys want to see or what we could do better, just shoot that into the comments.
Yeah.
We are Speak Truth America, and I'm Des.
And I'm Serene.
It's a show where we are pro-God,
pro-freedom, and pro-truth. We're just a couple of hippie patriots bringing you what the TV can't televise.
That's right. We got producer Brian back there making it all happen, touching with some buttons. Welcome to episode 33.
Magic number.
3.
So now moving on, what is happening in Texas is so interesting right now.
Yeah.
So the Democrats thought that they could pull a fast one, and doesn't look like they're going to get away with it.
Nope.
So basically what happened was they were having a special session to vote on redistricting in Texas, and all of the Democrats decided to flee the state and go to like Illinois and maybe some other places, but they didn't show up for the vote. And so Governor Abbott came out and basically said, like, they're going to be warrants for their arrest. They're going to possibly lose their positions, and we're going to have special elections for new people to come in because of this. And he is saying that this is possibly bribery, whether they are taking money for, going out of the state, or they're offering other Democrats money to do the same thing so that they all like do this together in solidarity.
It's almost as if they're interrupting a federal proceeding. Like they're actually like,
yeah, maybe we should put them in the gulag.
Yeah. Well, it sounds a lot like what they charged the January 6th people with.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he gave them a chance to come back and participate in the vote, and they still did not come back.
It makes sense, too. It's like they charged people, regular folk, for walking in a building.
They sent the FBI to our house for that.
Oh, we didn't go in the building.
We didn't go in the building, but just being there in general.
Well, yeah, it's like they charge people for going into a building, so why couldn't they charge people
for not going in the building?
For going out of the building?
When you're actually supposed to be in the building.
The people who aren't supposed to be in there went in. Well, the people who are supposed to be in there went out.
Yeah.
So, sounds about right.
And they thought that they were being smart and like finding a way around this because they know that when this vote happens, it will be beneficial to the GOP, and they don't want that. So they decided what? I
would say, to put it into context, I mean, can you blame them in that regard? Because
trying?
Well, because this has set the precedence. And I've heard, now we didn't do any research on this, but from what I've been hearing, once they do this redistricting, the Democrats are done. Completely done. They're going to lose enough seats because enough states will do this, and the Democrats are going to lose seats because they've been already gerrymandered around race. Basically, it's how the Democrats got so much representation in the first place. Right. And if you know, Republicans won over 2,600 counties in the last election. Well, Kamala voters could barely get over, I think it's 427.
It's really low number.
Really low, as opposed to over 2,600. So once they change these around, I believe from what I've heard, the Democrats are done. They're going to be completely locked out of power. They're going to lose enough seats that they can't even fight back anymore. Yeah,
so I guess they're freaking out and trying anything and everything that they can, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot because the governor is not putting up with this, and they're either going to be arrested or they're going to be they're going to lose their position anyways. And they actually took a vote, so 6 of them actually came back, 6 Democrats, but the rest of them, I think there was like 50 something, other ones maybe 60, they didn't come back yet. And so they held a vote if they should be arrested, and obviously they voted to allow for arrests to happen. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Honestly, I think that's what they want. I think they want to try to use this as another publicity stunt, another cheap tactic to go, dictators, and they're just going to lock us up. And it's like,
I already saw a headline. I think it was, I don't know, some liberal publication that Republicans want to punish the Democrats.
I think that publication, was that Sharman? Or was that
I don't know who it was.
Toilet paper.
Like what?
Sharman. New liberal publication. I was reading on the Sharman. Moving on.
Anyways, bad joke.
It was a joke. Okay.
I think we have a video on this, actually, if you want to check it out.
Texas House Democrats will not be returning to their home state, despite Governor Abbott's warning that they could face removal from office if they are not back by 4 o'clock Eastern time today. Instead, they just announced a press conference at 7 p.m. And where are they? In Warrenville, Illinois, is where those Texas representatives will be speaking from, just about an hour outside of Chicago this evening around 7 o'clock. They've been in Illinois. They've been in other states. They're protesting this GOP effort to redraw the congressional map. We know that both sides, Republicans and Democrats, are pretty good at getting very creative in carving out these lines. The Texas governor feels this is a legitimate move. The president supports it as well. We'll see where this whole thing goes. We'll be watching. Did Texas House Democrats?
Yeah, Democrats are pretending like we're going to do the same thing. Well, if you look at it.
Oh. Technical difficulties.
We're going to cut this out in post, right? Which is funny because you hear Democrats saying, well, we're going to do the same thing in our states. And I believe, once again, what I'm hearing is that most of these Democrat states already put those abilities to redistrict up to independent committees. So they're actually not going to be able to do that. So,
okay, there you
go. Republican-led states, on the contrary, have not done that, have not left it up to independent committees, and they're able to do that pretty much freely because they have the majority. So it looks like this could be the end for the Democrat Party just based on what this move that they're making here right now.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. You could go on that.
Okay. So we all know the Sydney Sweeney jeans, American Eagle thing, right? And it's like, we're all saying, yay, such a win for pop culture. And I'm going to preface this by saying, yes, we are winning the culture war, and that is amazing. And I 100% support that. Sydney Sweeney apparently is a Republican. Also totally support that. She shoots guns. Cool. Also totally support that.
Good.
However, I'm not going out there and buying American Eagle jeans just because they know how to advertise to the MAGA base. Okay.
Right.
So we did a little digging into American Eagle because we wanted to see, like, is this even worth, buying their jeans and supporting this company just because they know how to market to us, right? And what we found, I think a lot of you out there who bought their jeans are going to be a little disappointed. And I'm sorry, but we have a different take on this right now.
Yeah.
And you guys might, you might love us or hate us for this, but whatever, we speak the truth. Right. So we did a little digging. So American Eagle supports a lot of woke causes, okay? And if you went out and bought their jeans, you might also be supporting these social justice warriors that are getting these scholarships. So if you scroll down just a little bit, if you're able to, if not, I'll pull it up on my phone. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical difficulties today. But I will pull it up on my phone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just a little bit up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read this to you. American Eagle Outfitters Stephen A. Davis Scholarship for Social Justice is a $5 million commitment to advance educational opportunities for associates who are actively driving anti-racism, equality, and social justice initiatives. Since the launch in 2001, we have awarded more than $1 million to 59 associate scholars who share our passion. For creating a more equal and inclusive society. We are thrilled to announce our 4th round of associates who turn their passion for advocacy into action to advance inclusivity and equity within their schools and communities. And we all know DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that, right? So this is funding exactly what we're all fighting against, guys.
Yeah. Can we insert that meme of Sean Connery going, "You're playing both sides." Right? Like, yeah. This is the stuff that irks me, guys, because they did nothing to help us win this culture war.
Right.
Zero. And practice negative something. They did everything to fund the opposite
Yeah.
And now they want to jump on the bandwagon. I mean, let's not get it twisted here. It's not them changing the culture war with this ad. We already won the war. You and me and you and you back there. We won the culture war. We got dragged through the mud.
Exactly.
Okay? We lost friends and family, and we made sacrifices, and we lost money, and we lost everything that we lost to win this war and to speak the truth is what we did to get here. And they just want to jump on. They didn't help win it. Nope. We won it. And now they're trying to take advantage of it.
And look what happened. Their jeans sold out. Their stocks went up. All of that. And they're making money off of this. They're making money and capitalizing off of our culture.
Right. They didn't. It just shows that it shifted, but it's irrelevant that it was them that did it because anybody did it. We all know. I mean, if anything, the Bud Light thing was exactly, or Target was exactly when you could see it already shifted. So it already shifted. This is basically nothing new. We don't care. So what the headline reads, oh, the left got triggered. Everything triggers the left. And it was a smart, tactic on them to.
They have great advertising.
Yeah, great. I'll give them that. I mean, I'm not going to knock them for that. A good advertisement is a good advertisement one way or another. But let's be real here. If they would have switched all of their clothing to be made in the USA, how much, let's be honest, do some soul searching. Don't answer out loud, but really think to yourself, would I have cared that much? Because the reality is, guys, we're not putting our money where our mouth is.
Right.
And we're not actually doing the things that actually matter. A lot of times we're drawn to the convenience of it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not like I'm immune to this. But we actually go for the things that are small and easy to celebrate rather than pushing and fighting for the things that are hard.
Right.
So if they would have switched all to everything's made in the USA, and then ran the ads on that, that's where we should be like, heck yeah, that's the American Revolution. That's American Eagle Outfitters, right? How dare they, in a way, call themselves American Eagle Outfitters and make everything in China?
Oh, you ruined my segue.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Well, first, I think we wanted to talk about their donations. Yes. So, although it wasn't American Eagle, the company, there was no super PAC involved, but this is the open secrets for individual donations for people associated with American Eagle that work for American Eagle and all of that. And as you can see up at the top, finger got cut off. Number one donation was to Kamala Harris. Would you look at that? And Trump got, looks like maybe one donation of $200 and something, and the rest is all blue. Okay,
Rashida freaking Tlaib. Are you kidding me? Rashida Tlaib.
So it's not like exactly like they're standing with our movement, guys. They donated mostly all to Kamala Harris and the DNC.
The employees.
But we don't know who these employees are because that's not public information.
Maybe they got fired by now. I don't know.
Who knows? But it's not like they were supporting our causes and supporting our candidates or anything like that. They're just capitalizing on it. And
that's like what Fox does. Like Fox is not our friend. They're really not. Any chance they can get to when they think Trump's weak and they think they can take him out or they think they can somehow throw shade on him. They do it every time. Remember the elections? They were the first ones to call it for Kamala Harris or for Joe Biden.
Right.
Every single time they think that he's out. Remember all the indictments? Oh, they started hitting him hard with and even Hannity. All these people. You started to see the real. Don't forget, guys. Don't let them hoodwink you. Don't forget, they're faux news. They're only there to capitalize on the MAGA movement. Yep. So don't get too cozy with them. Don't listen to them too much. They're talking about all this stuff, not because they care. It's because they know we care.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
And they know who has the money.
That's right. They're just smart enough to read the writing on the wall and check the temperature of the room.
MAGA?
Yeah. So they know that. So that's all it is. And it's like that fake friend, right? who's only there to enjoy your success, your fame, your whatever. But as soon as they get a chance to stab you in the back, they will do it. And that's exactly what they do every time.
Yeah, it's not like they had your back from the beginning.
Right.
And even though you ruined my segue, I'm still going to do it.
Do it anyway.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
And I know you're probably out there thinking, well, it's American Eagle Outfitters, so at least I'm still supporting American made, right?
Right.
Think again. So we did a little digging on this too. And look at this. The verdict is American Eagle made in the USA. No, American Eagle is not made in the USA. The brand outsources manufacturing to locations including China, Vietnam, Mexico, and more. First, we looked at the products listed for sale on the American Eagle website. As expected, every item was tagged imported. Right. Under the materials and care section. This indicates that manufacturing occurs outside of the nation, but doesn't specify its location.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Can we scroll down a little bit here?
Made in America.
Yeah, thank you for proving that, because I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, you MAGA hats. Made in America. Boop. Okay, so yeah, scroll down a little bit. Here's a picture of the famous jeans, right? Our new favorite jeans. Let's see where they're made. Oh, we're having technical difficulties again.
She's got great jeans made in China.
Great jeans. Great China jeans. Oh no.
China.
Scrolled too far.
China.
Oh, here we go. Tag.
China.
Where does it say it's made?
China.
Just to show you guys, check the tag of your newly bought American Eagle jeans. Tell us where they're from.
Asian Eagle jeans.
Will it let you scroll down? Nope, not letting him scroll down.
Not gonna do it. Made in China also.
Oh, I think the technology is liberal and doesn't want us to show you this.
It's like, no, it's just damaging.
Stop.
Damaging.
Okay, so here's actually a letter from American Eagle. So they say, many of our products are manufactured in various parts of the world. We partner with factories in China, Vietnam, Mexico, Thailand, and Indonesia to manufacture our products. Please let us know if you have any further questions. Thank you for contacting American Eagle. Okay.
Thanks, Betsy.
They list China as their number one, which goes to show really their values and what they care about. And they are just tricking us with their branding, with their advertising, and they are capitalizing on us. So if I were you, it's been less than 30 days. I would go return your American Eagle jeans and get your money back and take your money back from these social justice scholarships and a brand that is only there to capitalize on what you care about.
That's right. Post it on TikTok. Post it, whatever kids are calling it. I'm not on that cheese-based stuff. Post it on your TikTok and say this is exactly why I'm doing it.
I can't.
Oh, shoot. No.
Anyways,
I'm good at it.
Moving on. Or let's see the image that Des created because it was kind of funny.
This was pretty funny.
Asian Eagle Outfitters. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans made in China.
Made in China. Post it up and say, you know what? I'm returning this because they are just trying to
#return American Eagle.
Right.
Return jeans. I don't know.
We got to vote with our dollars, guys. We got to put our money where our mouth is and actually care about how things are made and where they're made. American Eagle implies that it stands for American values, that it embodies the ethos of America. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there's products made in China all the time. It's not that you can't wear anything from China. You can't do that. But they're calling themselves American Eagle Outfitters. Yeah. You can't do that in my mind. Like you could just, if it was just Guess jeans or whatever, good for them. But American Eagle Outfitters, and they get it all from China. I mean, it's not even like like South American, like if it was all in Honduras and Latin America, like, okay.
All made in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. Latin America, South America.
North America.
Okay. Yeah. Like, you got a point there, that Mexican Eagle Outfitters, whatever that, but whatever. Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. Let's raise our standards, guys. Let's raise our standards and start to support companies made in the USA.
Right, exactly. Made in USA, and preferably companies that don't fund the social justice warriors.
Right.
Okay.
This is important, guys. The USSR did not fall because of bombs, did not fall because of military might. It fell because of their economy. And Putin and those guys learned their lesson. That's why when they tried to switch off the SWIFT system, they were ready with the BRIC system. They are a nation state, which means they're completely contained within their own nation. They don't need anything from anyone. Now, they were smart. They set themselves up like that for that reason, so they couldn't get their legs taken out underneath them. The problem where we're sitting in right now is that we don't have everything made in America. So we got to make this change. Sorry, I had to harp on that.
All right, moving on. Some really great news for the MAHA movement, because, they've been trying to vax our kids and put poisons in all of our bodies for a really long time now. And some of the things that they put in these things that they put in your arm are so poisonous and so dangerous, and are causing so many issues in children, and to the point where we've just normalized it, where we think that, delayed speech and all of this, that's just normal. We got to go to speech therapy and all these different things. ADHD, that's just normal. A lot of kids have it. Well,
how dare you talk about that?
Right.
You're
how
the bad
dare
guy.
you talk about our children that way? And it's like, well, maybe our children were never born to be that way. They were never created that way. And it's because majority of parents do vaccinate their children with all the recommended vaccines, and then these things happen, and then it becomes a normal thing.
And if you did that, don't feel bad. This isn't a guilt trip. This is
not a guilt trip, but
you didn't know.
It's
We
a
didn't
wake-up
know.
call.
We didn't know. But segue on from the last thing. We got to check these tags, guys, and this is exactly why.
Right. We have so much trust, and they've been taking advantage of our trust in experts, in doctors, in government, in everything. And we can't just go based on the honor system and trusting the experts. We have to do our own research. And I know we all know that now after 2020, so many people woke up, and we are so beyond blessed to have done our research and found out about this stuff before having a daughter, because we were able to make sure she didn't get any of this crap in her body. And what do you know? She's one of the most advanced speakers, talkers, not me. I was vaccinated, okay? Anyways, she speaks so well. Like, people are very impressed with the way that she can form sentences at her age. She's 3.5, and she talks like basically like, I don't know, a 7 or 8-year-old, but with a tiny little cute voice.
Yeah. People are amazed.
People are so amazed when she talks. And like, I totally attribute that to not getting any poison shots in her body.
Yeah.
Nothing. She didn't get one poison shot. Not even vitamin K that they recommend when they're born. But we do have a video of RFK. Are we still waiting on that to load?
I just wanted to say something too. The two reasons why we're seeing this change, what's one and the same, is that we're waking up and we're going back to God, which is basically the same thing. We're waking up to what's real. And that's obviously why we're going back to God, because God is the most real thing possible, the idea, person, every presence. But that waking up also means that we're starting to actually know how our government works and participate. We were watching football and just mindlessly consuming and stuff like that. It's not like those things are bad in themselves, but when we're just abdicating our power because we're more concerned with convenience, we're more concerned with our pleasure, we are succumbing to the ways of the world, and that's not the ways of God, of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Because we're waking up and we're choosing God, which also means we're now making our choices in our government. We're starting to choose what's most real, guys. And that is what the game changers. We were asleep at the wheel before. Now we're waking up.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're, you read the Bible, asleep is basically another way of saying dead. Awake is another way of saying alive, basically. We're alive, which means we're now awake. We're now looking at what's going on and how it's manufactured, on how it's done, on the labels, on every single thing. So guys, that's what the American Revolution is.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we have that clip now. So let's bring that up of RFK announcing this big announcement and win for Maha.
Aerosol, of course, is a mercury-based vaccine preservative. Its main component, ethyl mercury, is a known and very potent neurotoxin. Until we withdrew the recommendation last week, flu shots containing thimerosal, astonishingly, were still being administered to millions of Americans, including pregnant women and children. Now, I've taken a lot of flack from the vaccine industry and from its allies in the press about my decision to ban it. So I want to talk a little bit about my reasons. In early 2001, the director of the FDA Office of Vaccine Research and Review, late William Egan, admitted under oath before Congress that thimerosol's safety had never been studied in human beings. Further, CDC has no existing guidelines for safe exposures to ethyl mercury. It's therefore inexcusable that these agencies allowed neurotoxic mercury to be injected into Americans for so long. A quick search of the National Library of Medicine's PubMed and PubChem websites, and that's thousands of studies on search terms such as mercury neurotoxicity, mercury in development, and mercury in the brain. Hundreds of them identify thimerosal as a potent neurotoxin, a carcinogen, a mutagen, and an endocrine disruptor. But let's put all that peer-reviewed science aside and just look at what the government itself and the vaccine industry say about thimerosal. Thimerosol's own label advises against its use during pregnancy, pointing out that thimerosal has never been shown to be safe and that it causes mutations in mammals. Thimerosol's material safety data sheet acknowledges that thimerosal is toxic, that it has nervous system and reproductive effects, that it's mutagenic in mammalian cells, that exposure to mercury and thimerosal in utero and in children could cause mild to severe mental retardation and mild to severe motor coordination impairment. The MSD has...
Yeah, that's really, really sad because so many people out there are just doing what, is recommended by the health experts. And so it's no one's fault, really.
Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, this was definitely a plan and they want to make people this way.
They lied. They lied to
They
you.
lied to us.
Don't forget that. They lied.
Because what happens when a child has all these problems? Now they need to be put on medications. Now they need therapists, like speech therapists. They need all these extra things that parents now have to pay for. And so you get this client for life. You get somebody paying for whatever they need now forever. And that was really the whole plan. Just wanted to read a couple of the developmental effects in children from mercury exposure. So delayed walking and talking, which the talking thing is very, very common. I've noticed in a lot of children. Right. Cognitive impairment, lower IQ, learning disabilities, and behavioral problems like ADHD. So those are just a couple of the things. And it's a disgusting, evil plan that has been taking place. And I'm very, very, very happy that RFK is in there making these changes.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to another terrible thing for children.
Right. Yeah.
So if you guys have seen this video going online and didn't really know what it all was about, so if you want to play the video real quick.
Oh, we probably, this song.
Oh.
I think we have to mute this song.
Ugh. Ugh. Anyone else want to throw up? And not because they're gay, but because one of them is a freaking child ex-offender. I don't know if I can say that here, but
Probably not.
yeah. So the story goes that this guy right here, Brandon Keith Riley Mitchell, in I believe it was 2016. Oh yeah, it says right there. You guys can read that. And not only that, but he had thousands and thousands of images and videos of that kind of material on his devices. And yeah, he got in trouble for it. And then in 2021, I believe, he got out, and then he got around the Pennsylvania laws because what they did, they crowdfunded for their surrogacy. And so they paid a surrogate to have a child for them. And I guess because it was like a direct payment, a personal payment to somebody, and it wasn't actually through the state, it wasn't through the process of adoption where you have to go through the state and get, background checks and be vetted and all of that. They did it a loophole way, which I guess, like, I don't want to say it's a good thing that this happened, but in a way, now we actually know about this loophole and people are pissed, and now hopefully something's going to be done about it, because this is just one that got attention. But if they did it, how many other people have done that,
Hopefully they can take the kid away from them.
Yeah, hopefully they can remove that child, because who knows what that poor baby is going through. Like, I don't even want to imagine. But anyways, that's the story on that. It's really just disgusting and kind of makes me want to cry. But
yeah, it makes me pissed, honestly. I mean, especially it's just so sick that people say that about, like, oh, you're defending Trump and he's one of these guys. He's one of those types. You guys aren't saying nothing about this. In fact, dang well it was lefty Democrat people that helped give them the money to do this. And instead of any of you guys calling any of that out or doing anything about it at all, no, you're just going to try to call us names. And not that it even matters, because that we're the only people that ever push legislation to take down people like that, to make it harder for people like that to have access to children. We're the only ones ever doing that.
Right. So not to mention that guy was also a school teacher.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you were saying
another important piece of information.
At this point, like, if you're a school teacher, you're suspect.
Oh.
But kind of in it. I know it's a bit extreme, but honestly, there is something to be said about that, because this is all being pushed by the left and none of you guys are calling it out. You guys need to hold your own people accountable, because at this point, you guys are protecting all these people. And you guys are pushing the lefties. Sorry,
not
the Democrats.
You guys watching.
You're watching it. Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't even say this, because none of the lefties are going to be watching this deep into it. But, just a general statement of frustration, I guess you could say, against them. All the haters out there, this is like what I have to say to them. So,
right. Yeah.
But it's not all bad news.
It's not all bad news.
We don't want to leave you on a down note, because
that's
a real down note. But some good things.
Yeah. And, it's all God's plan. And really, hopefully this is just exposing that loophole. And now they will close that loophole and this won't be allowed to happen again.
That's right.
But yeah, so some good tariff news.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we got another month of revenue in the positive, going surplus style.
Yeah, look at that graph.
Yeah.
Look at 2021 compared to 2025.
Yeah. You just see it. A lot of people are shocked. We got a lot of Democrats, and it's kind of one of the bigger trending things right now of Democrats admitting that they were wrong. They're admitting, like, wow, even Bill Maher, all kinds of other regular people, commentators, the CEO or the co-founder of Home Depot, all saying, I thought it was going to tank. I thought it was going to, you got CNN reporting on it. You got News Nation reporting on it with Chris Cuomo himself.
Yeah, a lot of regular people. He had people on there just like talking about what they were wrong about.
And it shows tremendous character to be able to admit when you're wrong, to be able to repent, means change your mind, change your heart, change your mind. You don't even have to like Trump or praise him, but you could still say, you know what, I was wrong. and or at least it doesn't look like that's happening, and we can start to move forward in a conversation.
And then you can have a clearer mind, because if you are voting out of hate, then you're not voting with a clear mind and a clear heart. And so when you can just be like, I don't like the guy, but the guy is doing some good things. So now maybe you can reframe the way that you see like Republicans or whatever, and now you can make a smarter decision at the ballot box.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. So since all of these tariffs are coming in, I think Trump can afford even more Cheeto makeup.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, you know, he makes some crazy choices sometimes. It seems like he's doing them out of the seat of his pants, but you know what? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's calculated, or maybe it's something else.
Is there can you put the volume on that? So our producer Brian made this.
This is how the tariff things are going.
Oh my God.
J.D. Vance's face. J.D. Vance's face. He's still serious about it.
We love Trump, but we can make fun of him, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is hilarious. And if we were really in a cult, we would never make fun of him.
He's not a messiah. He's not a savior.
It's just hilarious.
He's a president.
It's hilarious. I just wanted to leave you guys on a funny note. But I think that's about all we have for you guys today.
That's all we got.
So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked today's episode, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. And remember that we are all here for a reason, and it is up to us to create a better, more truthful world together. So always seek the truth and always speak the truth, even if your voice shakes.
Amen. Remember, stay powered up in the armor of God, you guys, because it's only through him, Jesus Christ, that we can do any of this.
Amen. All right. See you guys next time. Much love.